Hey, Andresini Fantano here, the internet's busiest kaiju nerd, with an album review for Neil Cicierega's Mouth Moods.
So, how long you been holding on to that one?
Honestly, man, I couldn't resist. Given that this is like the first time ever on this channel I'm reviewing music. So hello, people of the internet. I am Andres Perez, here with episode 28 of Fully Endorsed. And of course, the man you heard just now is the one and only Dillion McCandless, aka Super DM64.
Hi.
What? No Todd in the Shadows?
He didn't tell, I can't play piano. He didn't tell me he was doing this, by the way. I had no knowledge going in.
No. So, yeah. As I mentioned before, under that lame-ass joke, we're going to talk about a remix album that I have been addicted to for the last couple of years, and from an artist that apparently a lot of people are fans of, but perhaps do not know exactly the man behind a lot of the most viral music hits from the last 10 years. And that being Neil Cicierega, the man who brought us Potter Puppet Pals, the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, and even Brody Quest, all of which have been very popular and have been videos that a lot of us, I'm sure any one of us, have seen at least one of these viral projects at some point in their past.
When you told me, because I had no idea that, I knew who he was, and I knew what the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny was, but I did not know that they were one and the same. And when you told me that, it fucking blew my mind.
Right. And I do have to give props to Quentin Reviews, because he is known for doing this series called Fallen Titans, where he takes a look at YouTubers that used to be very popular but aren't so much these days. And he, at one point, made a video all about Neil Cicierega, the Unfallen Titan, as he calls him. And that's what really introduced me to a lot of his remixed work. I know he has done a series of original soundtracks, a series of original music, but it was around this time that I really got into mashups, the mashup style of remixes, taking like two songs that surprisingly go very well together. One of my favorite mashup artists is one by the name of Wax Audio, where he takes a lot of tracks and just puts them together. I think his most popular one is Thunderbusters, which was a combination of the Ghostbusters theme and AC/DC's, I think it was Thunderstruck. And another one I think was We Don't Need No Education from Pink Floyd, and Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. That's another really good one there. And I think another one he did was Panama and Beat It, I think. So, that's one of those guys. And then you ended up coming across some random ones from other people. So there's this crazy one that's a mashup of, what was it? It was the video is called Super Jumper, so it's a combination of Jump from Van Halen and Super Trooper by ABBA. And that's what I love about mashups. They take these like wildly different songs that you never thought would go really good together, but then the moment you start listening to them, you're like, wow, it sounds like a natural song. And so
one of my favorite things is when you take something that was intended for children and then you mash it with like really over the top, like adult, like rap music. Like that's one of my favorite.
Yes.
Like there's one on YouTube that I'm addicted to where they took that song. You remember that song from the 2000s where the woman's like, my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack.
Yeah.
And they put that to the theme music from Thomas the Tank Engine, and
yes.
And it's one of the funniest things in the world. It makes me so happy.
There was this one compilation where it's like there's this like random anime song. I think the song is called Everybody's Circulation, And it's the song. It's the one I'm sure everyone has heard of in meme compilations. Dun, 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 dun. And then they just started. There's a great compilation where they just started putting like a lot of random songs to the instrumentals of that song. Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. That's another one. People have like put like a lot of remixes to the Space Jam theme song. Fucking like. All-Star Smash Mouth is perhaps like the king of meme-based mashups.
All-Stars Smash Mouth? You mean Smash Mouth All-Star?
Yes, All-Star Smash Mouth. I mean, fuck. What was it? Smash Mouth's All-Star. You see, the thing is, it's like that song is just so.
I think what you mean to say is All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Yes, I keep fucking it up. But yeah, that song is perhaps like, I don't know, if I were to pick any song as like the theme song for the internet, it'd probably be All-Star. And so I think like it was around at some point in 2014, it was all the constant meme mashups that that gave Neil Cicierega the inspiration to make an entire album of sort of these like meme-based joking like satirical mashups with his first album, Mouth Sounds, of course Mouth being named from the band Smash Mouth, in which he made a series of mashups, a good chunk of them featuring All-Star. There was one where it was like what was it? The second track is Modest Mouth, where it's a combination of Modest Mouse's Float On with the vocals of Smash Mouth's All-Star. So yeah, and then right afterwards, a couple months later, in the same year, 2014, he made an album called Mouth Silence. And I guess the whole sort of theme here is that these are more mashups, except without All-Star, with the exception of some like Easter eggs for those who like dig into the files, the sound files, audio files, and would play certain tracks in reverse or slow them down or speed them up, and they say like, oh, okay, here is All-Star here. And finally, I was
gonna say, how do you do an Easter egg? Just use a different Smash Mouth song. It's fucking. He used "Walking on the Sun."
You essentially got to do all CSI on that shit. Like what was it? Like zoom in on that one phrase of the track there. Now put it in reverse. Enhance that audio. There's a whole video about the Easter eggs in Mouth Silence. And then cut to 3 years later, in 2017, we end up with Mouth Moods. And in my personal opinion, this is perhaps like my favorite out of the bunch because I just happen to enjoy the majority of the tracks on here in comparison to all the other ones. Recently, last year, 3 years after the release of Mouth Moods, he made a fourth installment in this series called Mouth Dreams. And it's still a very fun album, but for me personally, it's not as enjoyable as Mouth Moods, which is why I chose It as the subject for today's review. I feel like with this one, you can listen to any of these songs out of order or listen to them on their own. Meanwhile, the tracks in Mouth Dreams, I feel like work better when you're listening to them one after the other. I feel like it's one of those like albums where it sounds the best when you are listening to it all together as opposed to listening to each track on their own, especially when a lot of the tracks turn out to be very short and like just as you're getting into the song, it suddenly switches to the next one.
Yeah.
So I forgot, I'm sure, even though you already gave a bit of your opinion here, I did want to know what has been like your experience, your exposure to mashups, and I guess and also to an extent, meme mashups.
I mean, a lot. A lot. No, not these ones specifically. So, you lucked out, Andres. It still qualifies for the show. But yeah, I've listened to a lot of mashups and just memes upon memes. You know, there are periods of my life where I don't even listen to any regular music, and it's just all fucking crazy shit from YouTube. So like, yeah, that's definitely a part of my DNA already.
Have you, by any chance, have you seen any of the sort of like meme mashup mega mixes out there, where these are like 7 minute long like tracks of like a bunch of meme music all like mashed up together in these like crazy compilations?
No.
Okay.
That sounds insane. That sounds like Shrek retold, but for meme music. That's.
I'll be sure to show you any like after this recording, because yeah, there's like a ton of stuff out there that like both meme based and not meme, just like, you know, quote unquote regular mashups that I would love to introduce you to. Off the top of my head, before I forget, I remember there was a mashup. I think this was another Wax Audio mashup of like what was it, Rebel Yell and Wham's Never Gonna Dance
Wham.
Again. Yeah. Wham!
Wow.
And what was it? Guilty. I think it was called Guilty Yell. Yeah, Rebel Yell and Guilty Pleasures. Guilty Feelings. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, it was one of the Daft Punk's soundtracks from Discovery that was in that Interstellar 5555 movie that we covered a while back, and they took that and mashed it up with September from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Nice.
The thing is, I always wanted to introduce these albums to you and Bill if we ever got the chance to go on another road trip, because like similar to how like I introduced you guys to The Disaster Artist, which was an audiobook we were listening to the entire way on our, was it first or second road trip to G-Fest, and we had a blast just like listening and reacting to the audiobook as it was being read to us by Greg Sestero. I was hoping
I want to say it was the second one.
Okay, then, yeah. Perhaps, most likely, then. And so I wanted to go on, like, another road trip with you guys and just, like, get your raw, visceral reactions to
We're not
these
even
tracks.
not even going to G-Fest, just on the road listening.
Just on the road, yes. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
Like, I was hoping, praying for the day I'd get that chance, but then, of course, you know, things went the way that they did, and, you know, no such road trip ever occurred again after our third year, I think. So I figured if I was going to introduce you to Neil Cicierega's Mouth Moods, or Neil Cicierega's body of work, might as well be here.
Right. Well, you had introduced us previously to one track in particular.
Oh, yes. And that was the most famous one from this track, the one that I guess Neil liked so much he ended up producing an entire music video for this one on his personal channel. Which, by the way, I did show these tracks to Dylan via YouTube through majority of them being fan music videos of all these tracks, as well as a couple of music videos based off of some of the rejected tracks for Mouth Moods.
Yes, but Bustin', I mean, it's no surprise that this is the one that went viral and, like, you know, became known outside of the album, because I think it's by far the best track on the album.
Right.
It's just great. I don't know what else you can say about it. I mean,
I feel like it's such a surreal feeling. That's what I love about the nature of remixed songs, where these are like classic songs from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. These are all songs that a majority of us have heard multiple times throughout our lives. And for something as iconic as the Ghostbusters theme, we certainly have an idea as to how this song is supposed to go. Dun 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 dun, and then like to hear someone make a new version of it where it's like it's familiar but at the same time different, and it's such an intriguing feeling that I always get a pleasure out of listening to remixed music, where you instead of like, sorry, go ahead.
It's also pretty unique amongst the tracks, because it's not really a mashup as much as it is just like a remix, basically, because the majority of it is just Ghostbusters. He uses a sound effect, a snoring sound effect, and at the very end he uses like 2 seconds of Feel Good Inc.
Right.
But beyond that, it's like all Ghostbusters.
Right, that is very true. And it's happened on a few occasions in previous albums where he would mostly do a remix of a single song. I do remember, I believe it was from the first album, Mouth Sounds, that he did a track called No Credit Card, which was an entire remix of Huey Lewis and the News' The Power of Love.
Mm.
And in that case, yeah, it's perhaps the simplest one. Yeah, I guess like the fact that it was able to be as successful as it was it's because it's probably like the most simple in concept. Just what if we just take that part of Ray Parker talking about babes and bustin' and make that the entire theme of Ghostbusters, instead of making a show about a song about fighting ghosts, it's a song about ejaculation.
Let me tell you something.
Bustin' makes you feel good?
Sleeping makes me feel.
That's right. That's what another great thing about the remix is, like this and a lot of other songs. Neil is not just putting a set of vocals on another set of instrumentals. Rather, he's actually like going like all YouTube poop in this shit.
Yeah, it's a musical YouTube poop. Yeah.
Yeah, just mixing up the sentences and lyrics to make it sound like they're talking about something else entirely. Another great example would be the track "Tiger," which is a combination
that's probably the one that's the most like busting, because it too is like pretty much just Eye of the Tiger.
It's Survivor's Eye of the Tiger plus INXS's I Need You Tonight. Dan, dan, dan.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, and that one was amusing just because of how many times they say the word tiger.
Yeah, rising up back on the streets, hanging tough with the tigers. It's the
tiger.
It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the tiger, rising up to the challenge of our tigers.
And it's also funny because every time they say tiger in Eye of the Tiger, it's always super dramatic. Like he's never just like tiger. It's always like tiger, and that's fucking
right. Just because of the nature of how he sang tiger originally. So every time he just goes at it, it's like 200% effort.
Yeah, and I was like, how is this not the fucking theme song for 2020? You know what I mean? Like.
Right, and then like
we all know, a certain show got very popular.
A certain show you may have seen us cover at one point in this show. In which case, if you haven't, do check out our episode on Tiger King. Plug.
I saw Tiger.
Oh my God, there needs to be a mashup of that right this second.
I want a mashup of Eye of the Tiger and Here Kitty Kitty.
Here, Tiger. And then like
same music video. It's just the exact same music video.
And then just to top it all off in Tiger, it's just I'll occasionally hear Tony the Tigers. They're great. With some actual tiger roars and some audio samples of Mario Paint going meow meow meow.
Here's the thing I'll say about this album.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's one of those things where like it takes a lot of swings.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that stand out, like Bustin' and like Tiger, really, really stand out in my memory.
Uh-huh.
On the other hand, there are other ones where I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I listened to that? I don't even remember, like.
Yeah, there are I believe 3 tracks in particular, 2 or 3, where it's like mainly just a 30-second interlude as like a short little break in between the actual songs, which I totally forgot that interludes used to be a thing on albums back in the day.
Oh yeah. I remember so many.
Yeah.
I really liked the gimmick of the very first track in the album. So it's
the
first of all,
starting line.
I think it's the track that uses the most other tracks. Like you look at this list and it's like so many songs mashed up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the starting lines from all of these songs.
Yeah. This is the story of a girl. This is the story of a girl. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, somebody.
And of course I can't hear Bare Naked Ladies one week without immediately thinking about Digimon, and so that was the whole thing. But
oh,
but then,
it's so great. It's so great that you and I got into Digimon around this time, since like Bare Naked Ladies one week shows up several times in this album.
it really does. And then yeah, that track started off super annoying too. Like it was just like it felt like, I mean, the track is only 2 minutes and 54 seconds, but it felt like 10 minutes straight of just, this is the story of a girl. And then but as soon as they got to, this is how we do it, and he dropped that in there.
Right, then like the real song like kicks in.
Then shit got funky.
Yeah, do. This is how we do it. Do.
It's been. No,
can't touch this. Do. Yeah. That's another thing. Like Neil, as much as he loves, or as much as he, as great as the songs he makes are, he also just likes to completely fuck with his audience. Just by leaving you constantly guessing what the next piece of audio you're going to listen to, because sometimes he just does something very weird, like the beginning of the start of the starting line, and you're like, where's this going here? And then you're like, oh, okay. Or another time, he just takes like songs that should never in a million years work, and then somehow they do, like the second album, Floorcorn, where it's Drowning Pool's Bodies with Hot Butter's Popcorn, by like perfectly matching up, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, with the do 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 do. And then at that point it just like clicks in your head and you're like, oh, I see what he's doing there. And then it comes to stuff like the third track, ACVC, where it's Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles.
This one I really enjoyed because I fucking hate that song.
Which I didn't know.
I fucking hate that song.
If I could call it, if you think I walk 1,000 miles, I could just see you.
I don't even know why I hate it so much. I think I heard it just a few too many times on the fucking radio as a kid, and I'm just like, fuck this song, I hate it. And it's so fucking sappy and shit, which is not my bag, you know?
No. And the thing is, like, you and I, like, from as we've learned from our road trips together, we enjoy like a wide variety of music. So it's really interesting seeing these various songs from various genres and then learning which ones we don't really care for.
Yeah, so taking that and mixing it up with Back in Black, a song that I do like, was that was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, and it's also it's really shocking to hear AC/DC's like main singer. I guess I would consider myself like a casual music fan at best, so if I forget the names of certain band members and such.
Oh, I don't know either. The only bands, here's the problem with bands. There's so many of them, and each of them have like 5 or 6 members each. So it's like, I only remember band names from like very few bands. You know what I mean? Like I know who Axl Rose and Sting are. I couldn't tell you who anybody else from Guns N' Roses is, you know? Or, you know, I know
Freddie Mercury from Queen, but that's about it.
I know most of Queen's names, but that's mostly because of the movie. Like, prior to seeing the movie, I wouldn't have been able to tell you who Brian May or Roger Deacon, I think was the other one's name.
Yeah. I mean, probably when it comes to bands, I probably know all the Beatles at this point.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
I mean, when it comes to the Jackson 5, I know Michael Jackson, I know Tito, Jermaine, and that's probably it.
Yeah. Sounds about right to me. And then his 2 sisters, Janet and the other one.
The other one. So yeah,
naming band members is like Gilligan's Island. You get to the end and you're just like, and the rest, and then you move on.
Yeah, so I guess back to what I was saying when it comes to like the AC/DC's lead performer with his very like scratchy voice. He always talks like this. It's so bizarre to hear his voice out of the context of an AC/DC song, because it kind of you start to realize just how odd some of these like performers are when they're not accompanied by their usual entourage of music.
Right.
So in this case, it's just so fucking hilarious to hear his voice. Bag! To a fucking sappy piano song. Yeah! Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
And then things get, I guess, like, at this point, we're going, like, track by track, but if you have anything else I'd like to add to a song that we haven't covered previously, do feel free to chime in, Dylan. For the fourth track, 300 Megabytes, this one is where it gets, like, very experimental, where it's the first of several tracks where Neil Cicierega is not necessarily mixing songs, but rather he is mixing songs along with audio clips from, like, the most random of places. And in 300 Megabytes, it's like what do you call it? It's like an advertisement on the shopping channel for, like, this high-tech computer from the 90s with 300 megabytes of storage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
you can
300 megabytes.
Meanwhile, it's in the background. You hear the Proclaimers. I'm gonna be 500 miles. Da 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 da.
And it's so funny listening to that in 2021. When, like, how many of those computers could fit inside my phone right now? You know what I mean?
Right. Like 300 megabytes. I got like a fucking 4 gigabyte USB drive, bitch.
Yeah.
And like the thing is,
the PS5 generation just started. We're working with terabytes, bitch.
Right.
You don't even know.
Megabytes must be in the billions.
Megabyte, isn't that a villain from Reboot?
Right? But it's so funny because this is like an era of like No, I think they were just like, they just invented CD players. And they're like, CDs, you can fit like 1 million books on a CD. You can fit an entire library's worth of encyclopedias on one CD on a computer of 300 megabytes.
Yeah, they still didn't even have any idea that, like, eventually we would just be storing all this shit digitally, you know?
Right.
Like, you don't even need a physical object necessarily. You know, we're still operating under, like, Star Trek the original series thinking, where, like, in Star Trek the original series, they literally had, like, tapes that they would stick into the computers.
Right. This is an era where the floppy disk was more than just the save button on your computer.
Right.
And then like meanwhile you're hearing like the 500 Miles song, and it's like just doing nothing but like hyping up da 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 da, and it's like hyping up this thing to be like the most badass shit ever. You swear you're listening to like an ad at E3 for like the PS10 or something.
300 megabytes, whatever it was.
Yeah. So I think that was definitely a good introduction for any newcomers who are not expecting like a audio from something that isn't a song being thrown in there.
Right.
And,
also,
yeah.
You know, I'm going to be 500 miles parentheses by the Proclaimers. It's just a delight. You can put that under anything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is one of those songs we had a blast listening to on our road trips. We were just, you, Bill, and I, we were all just like, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Yeah, because the game is to, like, constantly get louder with that does.
Yes.
And to see how loud you can get.
Oh, God, the memories.
And how many other people in the car you can drive. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I swear.
Remember Tarzan Boy, Andres?
Yes, I fucking remember Tarzan Boy.
That's all I'll say.
Not tonight.
He got so pissed. All right.
Yeah, Bill was sleeping in the back, and we were just shouting out loud, as obnoxious as we were. He's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Anyway.
Yeah. So, track 5, Revolution Number 5, was the first of the interludes, where it's just essentially like a piano, I believe, from. What was that? I guess it was apparently, according to Wikipedia, the Beatles' Revolution Number 9. Although I don't remember hearing that recognizable audio.
Yeah, you know, I don't remember this interlude like really at all, to be honest with you. Well, I remember that Lou Bega's Mambo Number 5. Yeah. I remember hearing a little bit of that.
It's just literally 30 seconds of, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo Number 5, Number 5, Number 5. number 5, number 5, number 5. And that's it. That's like the entirety of the song.
I'm like, that's it? We don't even get a little bit of Monica or
no Arena, no Sandra in the sun, no Mary all night long. So, like, I guess, like, for me, yeah, I'm not really a fan of interludes, really. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, like, the Slim Shady one, I guess, to skip ahead to, what was the name of that track? Shady Interlude, where it's just, like, Eminem going, ha, like, in a big echo, like a void, where it's just his voice, almost like, he's just, like, seemingly questioning himself. Hi, my name is who. My name is who.
It's really funny when you take Eminem's rap voice like separated from any music, because it's really weird. He sounds like a Muppet or something.
Hi, my name is
like hi.
And then you just like echo it, like the echoes only further enhance the surrealness and absurdity of the performance.
Right. In the same way that like Shakira sounds a little bit like Kermit the Frog, like it's a similar thing.
Right.
It's not easy being green.
Let's see, and the next one here was Dear Dinosaur. This is one of those tracks that shows how you can take a song as silly as Walk the Dinosaur, which you might remember from the Super Mario Brothers movie, everyone's favorite cinematic adaptation, and and turn it into a like, you change the overall vibe of the song.
I forgot that song was from that movie, and it makes perfect sense because that's in that era where every movie had to have some stupid fucking song like this, like, you know, in TMNT 2 when we did the ninja rap, you know.
Yes, like, yeah. Or a baby. Although that was more like a tie-in music video for Batman Forever.
Right. Well, even the first Turtles movie had its own song.
Oh yeah, TUR. Partner, was it Partners in Rhyme? I think that was the name of the duo.
Yeah. In the end credits, but that song fucking slapped. Like,
yes, yeah. TURTLE power. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. All the half shells and the heroes are full.
You listen to the lyrics, and they literally just rap the plot of the movie at you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I just watched that. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he calls Raphael the leader of the group. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Raphael is the leader of the group.
I like the part where he refers to the Foot Clan as a lethally evil force.
Yes, I remember that. Oh man. So in the case of Dear Dinosaur, it's a mashup of the Beatles' Dear Prudence with Was Not Was's Walk the Dinosaur, and it follows the tune, instrumentals of Dear Prudence. So the song, the Beatles song, is very slow, very mellow, Dear Prudence. And so you take this very upbeat, funky song that goes like boom, boom, haka laka laka boom, and it turns into this like weirdly soulful music. I'll walk the dinosaurs.
Yeah. It was interesting because I'm not familiar with the Beatles song in question here.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
I'm not a huge Beatles guy.
Oh, all right.
I basically know their most famous tracks, the ones that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, I don't really know much of beyond that. So it was interesting. I didn't even know what he was mixing Walk the Dinosaur with until I looked at this list.
Yeah, and then like the song just like seeming bizarre, like the rest of these tracks like bizarrely fits into the beat of the song. Open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. Boom, boom, haka laka laka boom. It was like 30 million years ago.
There's something kind of upsetting about it also. Like,
really?
You feel like something's about to happen. Like the whole time you're listening to it. Like, is the dinosaur going to show up right now? Like, what's going on?
Well, it did start it off with the actual narration from the Mario Brothers movie. A long time ago, there were some dinosaurs.
Oh, God.
And yeah, like, not knowing if you, like, just listen to this blindly, because I know you can actually listen to the whole album in one gigantic, like, compilation video on YouTube, and, like, going into it not knowing what any of the songs were, and just hearing one song follow the other, you would have a feeling of like of anxiety. It's like, oh god, what's gonna happen right now?
Just think about the music combined with the lyrics and everything. It's like it creates a sense of dread. Like something bad's about to happen. I don't know what it is.
To skip ahead, that
feels a bit like the creepy segments of Too Many Cooks, you know?
Yes. Especially with as like trippy and psychedelic as the Beatles' later songs were. And that kind of dread was exactly what happened with skipping over ahead to track 10, Busta, which was a combination of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven and TLC's No Scrubs.
See, this is something I didn't know about you, Andres.
Yeah.
TLC's No Scrubs is to you, apparently, as 1,000 Miles is to me. Like, apparently, you hate this song with every fiber of your being.
Well, no. I don't hate the song. I'm mainly, like, very ambivalent to it. I was mainly speaking about your reaction to this song. Because, like, as soon as you started hearing her vocals, you were like, wait... No.
Oh, so you thought I was reacting in like a not this shit sort of way.
Okay, no, yes.
My reaction was, what are they about to mix with Stairway to Heaven? And then I hear the fucking the at the beginning when the members of TLC are like, they're not even singing it, they're just doing like the like all that shit.
Yeah.
Like I hear that and I'm like, no way.
A scrub is a guy that thinks he fly. No, I don't.
I was like, you Cicerega, you beautiful bastard.
No, I don't want your number. No, I don't want to give you mine. Meanwhile, you hear
Okay, yeah. So you misinterpreted my reaction.
Yes, I did.
And then I misinterpreted your reaction to my reaction.
Yes, you did. Yes, we did.
It's a whole new Mexican situation.
Oh man. So yeah, with Buster, yeah, you take like one of the most like prolific songs in rock history of Stairway to Heaven, and you just put in like the TLC, which like, when was the last time anyone's ever thought about TLC? In the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. Did any of them even go on to do other things? I don't
know. It's kind of like 3LW, where it's like, that's just a name you hadn't heard in a long time. But then again, something and did came out of 3LW.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's like, Beyonce is still out there making hits, and everybody, like, I never even think about Destiny's Child anymore.
Right, that's true, yeah.
Occasionally it'll like hit me like a sense memory, like, oh yeah, that was the thing. She was in a group, a girl group.
It's kind of like, at the very least, people remember what was it? Okay, here's, I know I was about to say people remembered, and then I don't even remember the band, which boy band Justin Timberlake came from. NSYNC?
If I'm not mistaken, it was NSYNC, yeah.
NSYNC, yeah. So people like, yeah, at the very least, people remember and still like look back fondly on NSYNC.
Right.
Let's see. The next track here.
I don't even know a single NSYNC song. Like, I probably do, but I couldn't tell you that. Like, I couldn't tell you which ones are NSYNC songs and which ones are Backstreet Boys songs. The only one I know for sure is a Backstreet Boys song is Backstreet's Back. Which, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory.
All right. Here's a quick one for you. Who did Bye Bye Bye?
I'm gonna guess NSYNC.
You're right.
Okay, that was... I guessed that only because it sounds slightly different from Backstreet's Back, so I thought maybe that means it's from the other one.
Yeah, they did sound so similar to each other back in the day. Let's see. So I guess like the next track after Dear Dinosaur would be Annoyed Grunt, and this is definitely one of those songs that's like a compilation of various sound effects and different.
This one made me happy because it included one of my favorite sound effects of all time, which is Tim Allen going, like this.
Along with the entire like Home Improvement theme song.
Yeah. Threw in a little MIA in there.
Throwing some Disturbs down with the sickness. Oh, ah!
Threw in fucking Mungo Jerry. Like, what?
Yeah, and then they're also throwing in like samples from Larry King Live, The Simpsons, Austin Powers, Mario Paint, Ace Ventura, apparently, which I didn't even pick up on. Yeah.
Running with the Devil was in this?
I guess so.
Apparently, Green Day was in there.
Yeah,
Du Hast?
Green Day I recognize, like dan 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 dan. Yeah, this one, like, Annoyed Grunt is one of those tracks where he just, like, throws everything in the kitchen sink in there, just in a more chaotic sense than, like, the starting line.
Yeah, it's a lot like the starting line.
Let's see. Previously, we talked about Bustin', which was all kinds of genius.
Right.
After
I
that...
ain't afraid of no sleep. I ain't afraid of no bed.
No bed. An invisible bed. A freaky ghost bed. Yeah. Right.
I'm asleep in your bed.
Man, I remember the first time I showed this to you, you mentioned that, like, this is, like, the first time you realize how weird he said bed.
Bed. Yeah.
Let's see. And after that one was the second interlude, which was just a random, like, audio from a random Blockbuster advert, like, commercial. Like, here at Blockbuster, you can do this and that, and, you know, rent any video you want anytime.
I think the purpose of that was to lead into Busta, because Blockbuster, and then the next track is Busta.
Fuck!
It's like growing up. One of the first rap albums I ever listened to all the way through was a Ludacris album called Chicken and Beer, and he had interludes, but his interludes were like skits, like comedy skits.
Yeah.
And there was this one where this guy bumps into this other guy at like the store, and like it turns out that he used to like bully this guy in high school, and then at the end of it he pulls out a gun and like shoots the guy. And then right after that interlude, the very next song is all about guns. You know,
Okay.
like it's a similar situation.
It all ties in then.
It's all connected, man. You got to get your red yarn and fucking.
Let's see. We mentioned
Tiger.
Buster and Tiger. The next one, track 12, would be The End, and this one's another one of my favorites. This is one that I listen to constantly, where it's a mashup of the instrumentals of the Doobie Brothers' "What a Fool Believes," and mixed with Linkin Park's "In the End." So it takes this, like, the most emo song you can think of from the 2000s, and suddenly, again, change its entire vibe. you drain it of all its emo glory, and instead turn it into, like, the most upbeat song imaginable. It doesn't even matter how hard to try. It doesn't even matter how hard to try. I don't know why. I don't know why. Tried so hard and got so far. In the end, doesn't even matter. And I'm like, yeah, I can groove to this.
Groove to the song that was never intended to be grooved to.
Right? And you're like do 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 do. Let's see. The next one here is another one that, like, really shifts the vibe of this track, which is Time, Time, which is a mashup of Hans Zimmer's track Time from the Inception what do you call it? Not soundtrack, score, from the Inception score with the Village People's YMCA. And so, like, you just have this, like, very dramatic, operatic, like, Hans Zimmer theme in the background, and you have, like, the Village People's, like, lyrics just sound like the most sad and yet most motivational song ever. Young man!
If you've ever needed inspiration to go to the YMCA, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the original song was all about making the YMCA sound fun. This is more like the YMCA is the most important thing you could ever fucking do.
Yeah,
Get up off your ass.
It will change your fucking life.
Get off your ass and go to the YMCA right now. And it's such a weird combination. This fucking this tune from the soundtrack of like a multi-million-dollar movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, mixed with the second gayest song of all time, Village People's YMCA. The first gayest song, if anybody was wondering, is the Village People's In the Navy.
Funny enough, those are the only two songs of theirs I know.
You never heard Macho Man?
Oh shit, I do know Macho Man, I guess so. I'm a dumbass. Again, I'm only a casual music fan, I can't remember shit.
And those are the three Village People songs that I know.
Yeah, so this one was really outstanding work here on Neil's part. Like, they're all outstanding, but then it's like, this one in particular, it's like, wow, it makes me feel something. I almost got emotional listening to this. The next track after that, this is another one that I've listened to constantly on repeat, is Smooth, which it's another one where it starts off as one song for like a couple seconds, but then like catches you off guard by showing you what it's really all about. It starts with Oh Canada, but then it turns into a mashup of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminals with the vocals of Bare Naked Ladies' One Week. And at the very end, yeah, it's been 1 week since you looked at me, but it's like, it works so beautifully with Michael Jackson's music.
Yeah, it actually took me a minute to recognize Smooth Criminal, just because when you listen to this album, like from beginning to end, by this point in, you start losing the ability to recognize songs.
Yeah. I think it's like
all of the songs just start to bleed together.
And then I think like it really goes to show like the best kind of like mashup songs are the kinds that feel like it's a natural song. Like one I forgot to mention prior was Wake Me Up When September Ends. Like, wake me up when September. They put that over with the lyrics of Smash Mouth, and again, it just works like unnaturally well. Yeah, it is best if it feels like an actual, like a real song. Mm-hmm. You know, like when the one that I mentioned earlier, the one where they mixed that rap song with the Thomas the Tank Engine music. Yes. The reason that one makes me so happy, and I listen to it entirely too often, more often than I'm willing to admit, is that it fucking works. Like, the lyrics and the music, like, they're in time with one another, and it just fucking works. Yeah. Let's see. And the next one here, it's so funny because, like, right after Smooth, the 16th album, the 16th track is Stand By Meme, and, like, it's yet you follow up a Bare Naked Ladies Michael Jackson mashup with Ben E. King's Stand By Me with another Bare Naked Ladies mashup. So
yeah, and I was like, is 1 week just the perfect mashup song? Because the rest of the album could have been nothing but remixes of It's Been, and I would have been fine with it.
Which is really funny that you say that, because in Anthony Fantano's review of Mouth Moods, he mentioned how much he hates Bare Naked Ladies 1 week. Which I can't understand in the slightest why you would be upset with that. Also, I will say,
I find that song to be a joy. I don't know why you would hate it. I mean, the lyrics are a little weird. Have you ever looked at the lyrics?
Oh, definitely, man. It's like what was it?
Why is this man losing his shirt so often?
Do you remember? There's a line in where he's talking about Sailor Moon and how like the anime babes make him think the wrong thing.
Oh yeah.
Or like he makes movies like Kurosawa. He makes mad films. He don't make films. But if he did, he had a samurai. I was like, wait, why are you mentioning this then?
Yeah. Maybe if I didn't have that nostalgic connection to the Digimon movie, I would find it more annoying than I do. But as is, I'm just like, yeah, it's a good song. What do you mean?
Yeah. And so the next one is Wall Spin, which is a matchup of Oasis's Wonderwall and Dead or Alive's You Spin Me Round Like a Record. And
Bare Naked Ladies
again. Because it was carried over from the last track. Because like these songs are like,
this is like the one time that like this one like bleeds over. Fun fact: Oasis's Wonderwall, another song that I can't fucking stand.
Oh, that sucks because I like that song.
I hate it. I think it's just because it's overrated, I think.
Oh,
I find it overrated. Everybody fucking loves that song.
there's like in the previous album, Neil messed around with Oasis's Wonderwall, where he was like today, by now, na 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 now, now na na now, na na now, na now, backbeat, beat, 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 beat.
That's great. Listen, you're in the majority on this one. I think most people do like Wonderwall. So.
But with this one, it's like it starts off with "Some people call me the space cowboy," and then like the cow. Oh no, actually that's the next track. But it's like it starts off with.
Say that's not.
No, you're right.
Part of either of these songs.
No. So like I just got too ahead of myself there. So it starts off with Oasis's guitar, and then it goes like do 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 do, and then you go into the "Spin Me Round" like a record song, and then he just throws in Wonderwall so perfectly in there. Of course, here he has to do a lot of like pitch shifting and stretching and squishing the words in order to fit in with the beat. So this is one where he does put in. Much like a lot of these other songs that I forgot to mention, Neil does have to edit these songs to match with the... Sometimes he doesn't need to, like in the case of like 1 Week and Stand By Me, he doesn't really need to do a whole lot of editing to these songs because they just naturally work well together, as odd as it is. But in certain cases like this, he would have to do a lot of editing in order to make the songs fit with one another, which results in these hilarious mashups. So like you'll end up having these songs that'll be like, maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me, you're my Wonderwall. And again, it's another song I love to jam to on my way to work. And let's see, the next one here. This one is a combination. This one's the one that starts with Kid Rock's Cowboy. Some people call me the Space Cowboy, but then like quickly shifts.
That lyric is from the Steve Miller Band's The Joker.
Oh fuck! You see, again, I'm a dumbass. So yeah, that's one's The Joker, because I'm the Midnight Joker. So this one's mostly a remix of Will Smith's Wild Wild West called Wow Wow. And this
which is so funny because that's exactly how it sounds.
Wow Wow.
And I never thought about that before, but if you listen to Wild Wild West, don't know why you would, but if you do...
It's a good song. It's probably the only good thing that ever came out of that movie.
Yeah, but it just reminds me of the movie.
Aww.
But, it also makes me think of like Burger King chicken nuggets because Burger King had Wild Wild West toys.
Oh my god, you're right. I remember those.
Remember, I had the spider. Anyway,
in that case,
you listen to Will Smith in that song, and it sounds like he's saying "Wow Wow West."
Yeah, and then here it's like he just needs to reverse. It does that like YouTube poop thing of reversing words like shush or sauce.
Sauce.
And the funny thing is, like, the more you listen to this song, like, on top of just being... Funny enough, I haven't listened to the Wild Wild West song in a long time. So, like, for me, this is, like, the only version I can ever remember.
I remember they rapped to the tune of a Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah.
I don't remember which Stevie Wonder song it is off the top of my head. But it's, like, the same tune. And there's just a guy in the background going, "The Wild Wild West," like.
Yeah. For a minute there, I thought that one singer was Stevie Wonder until I realized it wasn't.
No.
And so like this is one of those songs where like the more you listen to it, pay attention to the remix lyrics, the funnier it gets. Where it's like, what was it? Swallow your buffalo, don't let your neck react. You don't want to see my hand where my hand be at. Because apparently the original lyric would be like, you don't want to see my hand where my hip be at, referencing to the fact that he's going to go for his gun. But it just makes it silly. You're saying like, you don't want to see my hand where my hand be at. Or in a lot of cases, it sounds very sexual, where he mentions Now I must put his behind to the bum rush. Then through the shadows in the saddles, ready for saddles. Bring all your bums in. Here comes the saddles. Behind my bum, all the yiffin' you did. Front and center, now where my hip be at. Talking about like bums and bum rushes and buffaloes and yiffing.
Yeah.
Brings up all kinds of disturbing imagery the more you pay attention to these lyrics. Yeah. And then like number 19 would be Mouth Pressure, which is a combination of Queen's Under Pressure and Smash Mouth's All Star. See, I got it right this time, Dylan.
There you go.
And this one was a very nice one. I feel like it takes like the best aspects. It's not so much like a funny mashup. It's just kind of one of those that takes the best aspects of both of them and makes for a very positive and feel good track to listen to. And then finally we end things off with Shit.
I don't remember Shit. The only thing I remember about Shit is that Spice Girls sample. Yeah. Because of that one shot from the music video where the Spice Girls are like running down a hallway and singing at the same time. It's like a very iconic shot from the Wannabe music video that got used in the music video for this that we watched. Yeah, this one's like a combination of like various songs, but it starts off with Seal's Kiss from a Rose, and then goes to like dan 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 dan, like everybody dance now, and then like that's when Gwen Stefani and the Spice Girls come in doing most of the majority of the lyrics here. Right, yeah, Holla Back Girl is in here. Yeah, that's where it gets the title from. that's where they get the title Shit from. This shit is bananas. Right. A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A. Right, yeah. Because I really want to zig a zig I still don't know what a zig a zig or a Holla Back Girl is. Yeah. But at least I learned how to spell banana. Yeah, and so that is it. That is pretty much every track from the Mouth Moods album. So it was really fun just being able to discuss each of these songs, just talking about just how absurd these songs are. And so, yeah, do you think you'll ever see yourself revisiting any of these tracks at all? Or even like on their own next time you do anything and you want to listen to something in the background? I mean, listen, I occasionally listen to Busted anyway. That's been in the rotation already. Uh-huh. But I feel like, yeah, a couple of these I could see myself listening to again. Tiger is one that I probably would. There's another one that stood out. Where is it? For me, I've already mentioned that like I really enjoyed listening to Bustin', Smooth, and Wow Wow. Those are Wallspin. Wow Wow. Wow Wow. And Wallspin. Those four are the ones I go to the most. Right. Oh, and The End you mentioned. The End. So 5 of them are the ones that I would listen to anytime on rotation. Yeah. Awesome then. So so would you fully recommend this to anyone into something different when it comes to their choice in music? Sure. Listen, if you're like us, if you're a complete fucking weirdo, and anything we've said tonight sounds exciting to you, check it out, man. Go ahead. Maybe you've heard Busted, and you haven't heard any of this other shit. Or maybe you are one of those old school internet users, and you remember Potter Puppet Pals, or Brody Quest, or Ultimate Battle of Ultimate Destiny. Right. Maybe not. Maybe the last computer you used was the one that only had 300 megabytes. 300 megabytes? In which case, how are you listening to this right now, man? through your freaking iPod? Gen 1? You have one? But whatever. through your MP3 player? Are you getting us on the radio machine? On the cassette player? Dude, imagine someone taking YouTube art videos and putting them on a cassette. That would be fucking wild. Yeah. I don't know how I would feel about that. Hey, retro's in.
Friggin' vinyl records had made a comeback already.
Yeah.
Alright, so that goes our discussion for Neil Cicierega's Mouth Moods. Overall, I highly enjoyed the hell out of this, and I really enjoyed sharing. I enjoyed having the pleasure of sharing this with Dylan, and who knows, maybe one of these days we will have another road trip, and we can listen to all of Neil Cicierega's Mouth albums eventually.
Right. By the way, side note, Neil Cicierega is a really weird-looking dude.
Come on, man.
No, not in like a bad way. He looks like a Pixar character. You know what I mean?
I think I can kind of see that.
Like he is very like he's extremely skinny, but he has very like exaggerated like facial proportions. Like he looks like an animated character. It's really I'm just looking at when you click on just his name and you just see his Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
like the main picture that they have of him.
Oh my God, yes. Sorry, Neil, if you're ever listening to this. We love your work. Don't
love
stop.
your work. Keep it up. We'll be over here busting.
Keep it up. Proud of you.
Great moves.
So, what are we going to talk about next time, Dylan?
Next time, it's not often that we get to talk about something that's current, or not really current anymore, but super recent. And I have just been dying to talk to literally anyone about a little something called WandaVision.
Oh my God.
Andres has not been able to see this yet because Japan. And so, I'm going to show him WandaVision. We're going to get his in-depth reaction and review to the hottest new MCU property, fresh off the presses. I say that, but like by the time you're listening to this, you're probably balls deep in Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier by now.
Oh, definitely.
But such is the nature of the internet. We're always late to the party on these things. But yeah, we're going to talk about WandaVision, and probably knowing how we are to just the MCU in general. So if that sounds interesting, definitely tune in for that.
If you like.
If you wanna.
And in the meantime, you can check out the rest of our episodes through the playlist or here on this channel for Kaiju Noir. And if you want to know any of my other stuff, you can follow me on Instagram at Kaiju Noir, as well as if you want to know anything, any and all things related to my indie comic, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, you can follow the Primal Warrior Draco Azul Facebook page. And if you're ever interested in checking out some of Dylan's older back catalog of content, you can check out his channel at SuperDM64. So I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir.
And I've been SuperDM64.
And until next time, everybody, take care.
Gotta go to bed.